Hey, welcome, Steve Van Thol. Welcome, Dynasty owner
What's up,
community.
Tim?
Hey, it's a pretty nice day in Cleveland today. The sun's out, as you can see, glaring through the window behind me, and it's summer. And how's your week been, Steve?
It's good. Last week of school here for the kids, so just wrapping up, and then starting summer, and we'll see. It's just getting it's been a crazy couple of weeks. So
It always starts to get crazy. Everybody's schedules between graduations, weddings, vacations, whatever else, and
yeah,
so you
I'm too
know.
old for I'm too old for weddings, but other things.
Well, cousin, family, like nephews, nieces,
Got none of them. Not many of them.
godchildren. I don't know. All right, we'll move on. So, how are your rookie drafts? First and foremost.
Almost over. The beta league draft is like 3 picks left in the third round,
Okay.
and I've got the last pick. I've got the last pick. So right now I'm deciding. I've got a couple of different trade potential options
Okay.
because I need to shed a player, or I need to trade away the last pick in
Ooh.
the third round. So
So you need to
because
shed a player. Okay.
I've got a couple of offers. Maybe I sit here and tell people what my offers are and see what everybody thinks of them. Do we want to do that? I can kind of pull them
Yeah,
up.
I think so. I mean, I think this is going to be all rookie draft stuff where we're going to talk about maybe some landing spots, use some examples of
Yeah.
real rookie drafts, maybe look at some that ended because we got some that are a little all over the place right now. We've had, so if I go look at it right now, there's still quite a few rookie drafts going. We've had quite
Yeah.
a few end as well. Um, but some of them had just started even Monday. And so I'm seeing some that are still in first round, second round, lot in the third round. I mean, we could be having quite a few drafts ending, just as I'm kind
Oh
of
yeah.
looking at glance, ending over the next few days. So yeah, it's pretty interesting.
Yeah, I mean,
So
one of mine that started on late Saturday is in the late second round right now. Oh, actually, it's the Podium League. We're on
yeah,
pick
yeah,
9 in
absolutely.
the second round, and then the Writers League I'm in with Jay. I think that's almost done. I
Okay,
it's Let's see, where are we? We have two. There's 2 picks left in that draft.
okay,
So
okay.
that one started on Saturday too. So that one's very, very, very close to being done.
Well, good news is I was able to get some picks. I should say get a couple more picks in the beta league. It was a situation where I only had one pick because a lot of times I use my draft picks as currency. Um,
Yeah.
and so that way, I can obtain maybe players that are going to help us right now, help
Yeah.
me on my team. So, but I really wanted to reduce some salary, and there's some things that I wanted to do, and so I ended up trading down out of the second round, getting a late second, and getting an early third. And I did miss out on some guys that I really wanted, which was the Falcons running back, Tyler Algier. I really wanted him. I also wanted, might be a smidge of a homer pick, but I wanted David Bell. But I think in that league, I still did okay. I ended up with the Colts wide receiver. I'm kind of blanking, Pierce, right? Um,
Alec Pierce.
we've seen him all over the place. I'd love to see what people's thoughts are about Pierce in the chat because
Yeah.
I've seen leagues
Well,
where he's getting drafted early in the second, and I've seen rookie drafts as I'm peeking in on him that are getting drafted. He's getting drafted like in the third round. So like I feel like he's all over the place.
it's funny. Jay and I talked about this on the podcast we did the other day, and I had the first 2 rookie drafts that you had sent me that were done, the first 2 leagues, and there was a huge difference of opinion on him in those 2 leagues. One draft he went with the 112, and then in the other draft he went with the 3-1.
Whoa, he went in the first round? Wow.
The 112 in one draft.
Wait, Dave Delp. Okay, we'll talk about Dave
Yes.
Delp and what Dave said in a second. But yeah,
Yes, I'm in
that.
I'm in the same. I'll show it. Yeah. In one of my leagues, someone selected Justin Ross, Kansas City, 3rd pick overall. I'm actually in that league with Dave Delp, and that is true. That
Did you
happened.
fall? Did you fall out of your chair? Like, what's going on?
I was shocked. I couldn't believe it. And then I had those 2 completed rookie drafts that you had sent me. So I was like, okay, well, and I was like, I looked at them, kind of done a little looking at them for the podcast with Jay. And I was like, well, I know that's off. I'm sure the other drafts he was taken in the 3rd round somewhere. So I was like, oh, I'll just go check, see where he's taken. He wasn't taken in either of the first 2 rounds. In the first 2 drafts, I'm sorry. He wasn't taken at all, that Justin Ross. And he was taken with the 3rd overall pick to Kansas City.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, that was kind of, and I look. The funny part was, after that I looked because Jay and I were talking about it, and I was like, okay, well maybe this team's salary cap strapped and could only take like somebody like that. I wouldn't want the 3rd pick overall if I was strapped for salary. But if I had it, I guess. So it wasn't that wasn't the case. I'm not sure what happened there, but yeah, it was shocking, and I mean. Yeah, it was just shocking. I mean, there's been other ones where I've been surprised. Just off of these first 2, there were some where you're just like looking at it and you're just like, that's just weird. Like somebody in one of those 2 drafts, I'm talking about the first 2 completed ones, took Kyron Williams with the 2-7, so mid-2nd round pick for him, the Rams running back. In the other draft, not taken.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, so if you look at it, you're going to see like ADP there for, people are going to see ADP, but it's going to be, ADP, if you're taking 2nd and you're taking 30th, your ADP is 16. Yep. Doesn't mean anybody actually ever took you 16th or anything like that. So, some of these, I might have to look at, I'm going to try to look at this in a little while after more drafts are done and just sort of look at and say, okay, while ADP says this, where are these guys being taken? I mean, are they taking, if their ADP is like, for example, 16, for example, that would mean you're a high 2nd round pick. But how many times did that guy fall into the 3rd round? And how many times did he get picked in the first round? Just because his ADP says 16 doesn't mean that he's going in the early 2nd round all the time. Yeah. Last year was a little different because in looking at those drafts, there were certain players who were always in the 1st round. It was just a question of like, where did they go in the 1st round? If they went like 3rd, they would go 5th, 6th, 7th, but they were always kind of in the 1st round, a 1st round draft pick. It was just a question of where. But here, I feel like there's going to be a bunch of players, just going to look at it and go,
yeah, I feel like,
wow,
we know who the top 5, maybe even 7 in most drafts, other than this one. Just to recap what we're chatting about. Dave Delp said Jay Ross went 3rd pick overall. Steve's in that league as well. And that is just very, very crazy, and there's some surprises. Like he took Pierce and Bell, and I assume Pierce, the wide receiver, because we were chatting about Pierce, the wide receiver, not Pierce, the running back for...
It could be Pierce, the running back. I'm not sure who Bryce is talking about.
Well, maybe Bryce can let us know. I'm assuming it's the wide receiver because we were talking about, but Pierce and Bell, and that's pretty good value. And then Evan took K. Williams went last pick of the draft. He said he's just absolutely wild.
But the difference is that he did hurt himself. He's hurt now. He got hurt during OTAs.
And that's what he said. Broke his leg today.
Yeah. I think it was yesterday.
Rudy said that Wendell Robinson is going late. Are you going to talk about our trade, buddy? Hey, did you and Dan made a trade? We did.
Right? Yeah, me and Dan made a trade. I think we talked about that. Well, maybe it was me and Jay talked about it.
Yeah, you might have.
Yeah. Well, let's finish this off real quick because that's a good trade actually. Me and Dan he's Yorkshire Roses. We made a trade which people have called interesting, eclectic, eccentric was Matt the Jerk's term. Was eccentric, but But just to finish the Kyron Williams thought, yeah, I can see him going as the last pick now. But when he was taken with the 2-7, that was well before he got hurt. So, I mean, now his ADP and the draft position will go much lower. Nobody's taken him with the 2-7 after he broke his leg, but that was before. So, yeah. Anyway.
And he said, certainly split opinion. Split opinion in the league chat. So, and that's always the situation. We had some split opinions on the draft clock in one of my leagues where people were like, hey, it was like first round. They said, I hope this draft finishes today. And I was like, why? I said, I love that a draft goes and takes, 4 or 5 days or, even a week. That's me personally. And as long as people aren't like, like there's a guy that we had, not to get into this, but there was a guy who I've played in a long, long, long time. It's actually Cousin Dan. I don't mind saying it. It's Cousin Dan. Cousin Justin and I play with, who you've all seen on the show before. We play both fantasy baseball and fantasy football with Cousin Dan. That's Justin's brother-in-law. So it's Brother Dan for him, Cousin Dan to me. And so Dan will take 22 out of 24 hours of the clock because he likes to sit and like compare 3 players for about 20 hours. Maybe 2 hours of it he's at work, and then he likes to go to bed and sleep on it and which guy in comparison. I'm like, come on, you're probably going to make the wrong decision if you're, not decisive, right? And knowing what you want to do ahead of time. But I think it's always a long clock fosters trades and things like that. So it's fun stuff. So, so Kevin had said, hey, I'm a minute or two behind, but Bell went 107 before Burks. Holy crap. And this is stuff we're talking about, Kevin. So we're just recapping maybe what some really crazy surprises. And we've seen some things like we saw a couple of surprises like Jay Ross go 3rd overall. Some guys slip and fall and later in the draft. And here it is. Bell went 107 before Burks. And that has got to be somebody has watched film and thinks that is who they want, right? And very much, down to who they want.
Well, you wonder – in that situation, it's also possible Burks is a little more expensive. I wonder if they had the room for Burks.
By the way,
possible.
I think Gary, I think you're 100% right. My friend Gary, who I play in Beta League 1 with, we were the first draft to start. And you're right. We were probably the last to finish, and there's nothing wrong with that. In fact, I think I just picked this morning. I don't know if my days are running together. Sometimes that's the case. I feel like my memory long-term is really sharp, and sometimes short-term, the days kind of run together. And so,
like you can remember all the words to random 80 songs, but you can't remember. You can't remember. 30 seconds.
I mean, I'll remember everything you and I, not everything, but majority of everything you and I would say in a conversation 3 years ago, or just the way my brain works. I'll remember facts, of course, too. But anyways, I can't remember if I drafted today or yesterday because the last couple of weeks for sure have been running together. So anyways, Gary, it's totally fine. So I know we're in the 3rd round in our draft. That's for sure. Nick, our commissioner. So wait, actually, Evan says he took Cooks at 1-3.
I assume he means James Cook.
Yeah.
From Buffalo.
I think that's what he means. He took Cook 1-3. So I've seen where usually that's the first spot for a wide receiver to land in most drafts. I have seen Spiller, one of the drafts I was in, I saw Spiller go 3rd overall.
I could see Cook going. I could see going Cook 3rd. I mean, it's not. Yeah, it's not going to happen a lot, but it's not like complete. It's not Justin Ross going 3rd.
Yeah. Nick is saying that all of 1-1.
I mean, that's in a league too. But the person who had the 1 and the 2 had the first pick and the second pick. He took Olive with the 1 and Breece Hall with the 2 to make it look like he took Olive first to mess with ADP. He's not going to mess with just to let him know.
Sorry,
It's not
your
going to mess
one
with it that
draft,
much.
your one
It's not
draft isn't going to affect that ADP. So
very much. Yeah. The one position in one draft is probably going to be very minor.
yeah.
But
And
hey,
Evan says Cook's 107 for me. I think that's what you're referring to is like the landing spot. So let's go take a
yeah.
peek and see where these ADPs
Oh,
are.
do we want to do me and Danny's trade first?
Oh yeah, you go ahead.
Okay.
And then what I'm going to do while you're doing that is I'm going to go start looking at
Okay. Well,
some ADP.
let me see if I can share my screen and see if I can get that trade up. I don't think I can. Okay. I don't know why. Hang on.
Oh, by the
Let
way,
me
I'm on
see.
the clock.
I think I
I'm on
can
the
share
clock
this.
right now, you all, in one league.
Okay. Is
So
anybody? Oh, here we go.
we can do that together.
Okay. Well, here we go. This is the trade. So I traded Derrick Henry and the 1-3 pick, and I got Zach Ertz and the 1-2 pick.
Wow.
So basically, I traded up a pick, and I exchanged Henry for Zach Ertz, and then I drafted Kenneth Walker with that 1-2 pick. I'd have to look and see who Danny took with the 1-3 pick. But that was the deal. So it was Derrick Henry in the 1-2, in the 1-3. And maybe Danny can just type in what it was. I can't remember the 30, the 1-3 pick, who he picked with it. And then I got Zach Ertz and I got the 1-2 pick. So let me see if I can find who he took, just so we can get a full.
By the way, Nick,
spectrum of that deal.
by the way, Gary, go ahead. Are you?
He took Drake London, so it was effectively Derrick Henry and Drake London for Zach Ertz and Kenneth Walker.
And by the way, Gary, you 1,000% did snipe David Bell from me. I traded down to get more picks because I thought it was a little bit too early. I really wanted more than one player. I could have gotten Malik Willis in the mid-second. I could have gotten David Bell. I could have gotten Algier, the running back from Falcons. And I said, all right, I'm going to gamble that a couple of people that I'm really interested in might fall to me. And one of them was David Bell. I ended up with Pierce from the Colts, even though I had Michael Pittman already. Which just means I'm going to trade one of them. And I probably should have gone running. I really wish I would have had running backs available there, and I didn't. So Gary's saying Isaiah Spiller bonus pick in almost every league, and that's about a good spot.
Not really, but okay. He might be in a couple of Gary's leagues.
We'll go take a look at it. Rudy said the biggest steal for him was Henry at 103.
Yeah. So, I mean, because I'm looking at the first two completed drafts, and Spiller was not the 1-3 in either one of those drafts. And then he was the 8 in one pick in one draft, and he was the first pick of the second round in another draft. And then in my beta league, he wasn't the one. He wasn't the 13. He was actually what was he? He was like picked he was the 9th pick. Actually, I took him with the 9th pick.
So I'm going to let you guys help me pick. This is for our Crossroads League. It's our internal league, right? So Sammy from accounting plays in this league. If we ever have an orphan spot in this league, Steve, you're going to take it. But Paul's in this league. Nick is in this league, by the way, and so I'm on the clock right now in the first round. And Seth is in this league, by the way. So
is Seth the two-time champion?
He is. It's amazing. It's amazing. By the way, and he took that team over as an orphan. It used to be a friend of ours, Lauren, in 2019 that had that team, that had that 2020. Yeah. And guess what? Lauren won it in the inaugural year. That team is basically a thing.
Won 3 of them?
It's a three-peat, total
Wow.
dynasty. Yeah, but we're gonna knock Seth off this year. So, anyways, I'm on the clock right now. You guys can help me with this pick.
Yeah. If
Here's
Seth ever
who's
comes on again, he's going to have to say he's the two-time champion. That's the only appropriate way to introduce yourself if you've won 2 championships.
so here's who's gone. And by the way, Nick's telling me to take Pickett because Nick picks right after me. Nick, don't scam me. All
Nick
right.
has a draft pick?
Nick has a draft pick, which is
Okay.
amazing. But Nick has one in this league right after me. He's picking after me. And you can see Nick's in the chat. So here's who's off the board. Brees Hall, Kenneth Walker, Spiller, Drake London, Traylon Burks, Garrett Wilson, and then Damian Pierce just went. So here, according to ADP, here's the top 5 available. Kenny Pickett, Jamison Williams, Chris Olave, James Cook, Christian Watson.
I assume you're just going to do the Chris Olave homie Ohio State pick.
I've been thinking about Jamison Williams, though. I don't know.
Okay.
I mean, that I wasn't expecting Pierce to be, gone. And I thought the options would have been taken care of for me. I don't know that I can, in good faith, take Kenny Pickett. I don't know. I don't think he's going to be an amazing Steelers quarterback. And if in 5 years I'm wrong and he's had the career Ben Roethlisberger's had, then I'll eat my words. But
yeah, but remember, even if he's cheap. He's a cheap quarterback.
He is a cheap quarterback.
Those are always helpful.
Let me tell you my roster in this league. This may help make the decision. So my current roster is, and I will go through kind of positions real quick and just kind of give you a recap. I have Pat Mahomes and Trevor Lawrence in this league. Running backs is, I feel, a weak position for me, where I have CMC, Cordarrelle Patterson, J.K. Dobbins, and then a bunch of Chris Carson, and then a bunch of guys that are just bench guys, okay? Wide receiver, also a little bit weak for me in this league. I have Brian Edwards, who's now with Atlanta. I do have Justin Jefferson. I have Zacchaeus in Atlanta, Van Jefferson. Really leak. And then I have a bunch of guys that are just bench guys.
Those are your best wide receivers in that league?
Yeah, but remember, this is the league where I use Dallas Goedert as my flex because I have Kelsey, Freiermuth, Goedert. I have I don't remember how you pronounce his name. Nick just offered me a trade.
Albert O.
Nick, yeah, I have the Broncos tight end. Nick just offered me a trade. We'll see what this trade is. It's probably a scam. What are you offering me, Nick? He's offering me. Yeah, this is a complete scam. He's offering me. Wait a second. Yeah, he's offering me like Mitch Trubisky and some other. Forget this, Nick, and like swapping picks. No way. It's not even a trade to talk about. Rejecting that. So, anyways, I think he's just messing with me. So, I don't know. I think I do need the wide receiver. Running back is an issue for me. Wide receiver is an issue more than the quarterback. I mean, I have.
But none of the running backs left are guaranteed to like start.
No, you're right. They're fighting for positions and stuff.
Yeah.
I think. Who do we feel? So let's talk wide receiver. I am leaning wide receiver at this point, and then I can get some of those running backs in subsequent rounds that maybe are some guys that are going to compete for stuff. Who is the best wide receiver between Williams? And I'm going to have you guys all just help and vote on this, okay? According to ADP right now, it's Williams.
Okay. But the question is, are you planning on competing in the league this year? Because if you take Williams, then you might not get him for a couple of games.
Yeah, that's a good point, Steve. Yes, the answer is yes. I do plan on competing in this league this year. So who do you think is going to have?
Then I take all. I think I take Olive.
You think you take Olive?
Well, yeah, because I mean, it's possible that Jameson Williams doesn't play much this year, and then I mean, if you're thinking long term, Williams probably it might be the guy to go to. But if
Here's the
you're
thing.
trying to do it, if you're thinking about this year a little bit, then you may want to just take Olive
So
and
here's the
kind
thing.
of.
By the way, Olive is who I normally would have said yes. But can I tell you, if there's a person in this chat that would sway my thoughts, it's Rudy. He is a top 3 finisher 2 years in a row.
Yeah.
He's, I, I
Well,
know
Rudy,
he knows.
but just Rudy's not infallible because he chose Derrick Henry in the 1-3 over Zach Ertz in the 1-2. So clearly he doesn't know everything. He's not right all the time.
Wow. How can you diss Rudy?
Eh.
Yeah. So what are you guys thinking? Olive? I don't think Watson is a
I think you could flip. Honestly, I think you could flip a coin and who knows? I mean,
yeah, there was some early drafts where I've seen people take Sky Moore and Jahan Dotson and things like that.
Love you too, Rudy.
Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at it's all. That's the thing. It's all over the place, and if you went to look at 10 different people, if you asked for 20 recommendations, you'd get 20 different. You'd get 10 telling you Olive and 10 telling you Williams, and I think it's that close. I mean, if you did a Twitter poll, it would be really close to. The only other reason that Olive's a little cheaper, isn't he? About $1 million cheaper. I don't know if that changes. I don't know if that changes your calculus at all.
Olive's about $500K more than Williams.
Oh, was he picked ahead of him? I'm sorry.
Yeah. So here's a very interesting thing.
Yeah.
Okay. So Olive is 4.8 mil. His ADP in startup drafts is a 61. Okay. His ADP in the rookie drafts right now is a 9.2. Williams, he's 4.3 million. He's 87.1 is his startup ADP, and his rookie ADP is 8.2. So he's starting to go earlier in rookie drafts, but Olive's going earlier in startup drafts. Is that not interesting?
That is, yeah. See, I guess that's kind of a little bit of my point with this draft is that it's very fluid. Like last year, there were most people either wanted Najee or they wanted Trevor Lawrence as the number one, and those were 90% of the leagues. Those were one of the first 2 picks. It was one of those 2 guys. There was like a couple people took Pitts and 2 took Jamar Chase, but everybody was either Harris or Lawrence, and then Lawrence really never lasted too long. I mean, this year it's kind of like it's Breece Hall, Kenneth Walker, and then there's 5. There's 5 different wide receivers somebody could possibly take. A couple people. Some people are taking Spiller or Cook, or it's just kind of I've seen Kenny Pickett go with the 3 pick too. I mean, it's just there's like 7 guys you could take with that 3 pick, and
Ooh, this is a good question. Eli's asking a very good question. So all of you are super, super helpful. And I think this is going to help some other people that maybe are in different points of their draft. Obviously this draft was one of the later starting drafts that I'm on the clock in the first round. So first of all, I do have opportunity to move back. Rudy's like, see if you can move back and get a player since you seem cool with either one. That's true.
Jay.
What's that?
Jay, see what Jay I posted what Jay said.
So Jay's saying take the Buckeye, and I trust Jay. That's
what I've been trying to play Jay's role here, basically.
I do trace Rudy, and then but Eli brings up a good point. Tim, next season, who's going to have the better quarterback? Are you saying that you
Jameis
think
Winston or
are you saying that Jared Goff is out next year? Is that what you're saying? because I think that's what you're alluding to. Are you alluding to that with Williams? Or because I think we know who the better quarterback is right now, and it's hard to say that Winston is. But
yeah, I mean, it really, I mean, if you're basing the decision off of who has the better quarterback, I don't think in 2 years you have any idea who's going to be the quarterback for either one of those teams.
well, anything
right
can
now.
happen. So I'm going to go.
No,
look
that's
at
but that's what I'm saying. I mean, it's like I make this point. I
Wait,
make this point with Jay all the
crap.
time.
Holy crap! Here's what, guys. Here's what Nick just offered me. You ready for this?
Yeah.
Okay, Steve. Why don't you type this one in the chat and then post it up so people can see and talk about it?
Okay.
All right. My current pick right now, which is the 1-9,
109.
for
Okay.
the 110, the 210, and the 310.
Oh, this is there's not even a competition here. You take the 3 picks. Because you're debating who to get. So I mean, he can't take both players with 1 pick, right?
No, I can't. But Nick doesn't care about his rookie picks. He just wants Olive.
Well, yeah. So I mean,
Jay Will was also a Buckeye.
Let him have Olive take Jameson Williams and then grab a couple of extra running backs, or
guess what?
Grab a couple extra running backs late.
I just accepted the trade.
You should. That's a good deal.
Thanks, Nick. Just made the trade.
Because basically you're trying to figure out which 2 of the 2 players you want, and he's giving you he's just going to take the choice away from you and give you 2 extra picks for the pleasure of taking that choice away.
Just took the trade, guys. Nick, thanks. His first offer was not good, and his second offer, because we're sitting in here talking about it, and I was leaning to Olive to compete now, but now I know that Nick's going to take Olive. I'm going to drop back 1 spot because Nick really wants Olive, and I'm going to go ahead and take Williams. He said he's taking Williams. Oh my God.
Then you get Olive and you're fine.
Then I get Olive and I'm fine. I don't care.
I mean, you're debating between the 2 guys. You clearly don't have a real preference.
So Nick says he's taking Williams. I'm fine. By the way, Nick, you're going to make the decision for us. I think he's full of it. He's going to take Olive, but
you'll find out in an hour.
If he takes Williams and I take Olive, great. And yeah, then after that, subsequent rounds, I'll go ahead and be able to fill some other positions, maybe even get a quarterback in the second, because I'll have the 2-9, the 2-10. I'll have the 3-9 and the 3-10. So I might be able to get to maybe even get some cheaper kickers in the late third, like York and Garibay in the third. I know that the other guys aren't listening, so I can openly talk about that, especially now that Nick gave me his picks. I can talk about that. So
yeah, I wouldn't wait on York till the 3-10.
He went in our beta league at 2-4. Gary, you might be able to tell me this. 2-4, 2-5. He went earlier. But
I'm seeing him in the 3rd round, but for example, I had the 3-8 and the 3-12 in my beta league, and somebody wanted my 3-8, but I wanted to take York. So I took York because I didn't think that he'd last to the 3-12.
I'm still seeing his ADP at 29.5, which is 3rd round, and Garibay at 32.6, which means he's going undrafted in certain leagues. So, yeah, I'm not sure. But maybe in the 2nd round, I'm able to get maybe I'm able to get Matt Corral in the 2nd round, which would be, I know Evan loves it, Matt Corral, so we'll see what he says. But yeah.
That actually is not bad with your team if you've got Mahomes and Lawrence, and then Corral is your 3rd for no salary, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
He plays. If he doesn't, he doesn't. You don't need him.
Yeah, I think, York went 205 to Roland. Roland's a Browns fan from Ohio, so I don't know if that's maybe why York went a smidge early, but yeah, I think I think it just depends on the league. I'm going to try to snag York if I can, or Garibay. I'm pretty happy. He's the only kicker on Dallas's roster right now. So
there's no chance Jerry Jones relies on a rookie undrafted free agent kicker for the Cowboys for the whole year. No chance.
York, by the way, I think is the real deal, but it's more and more looking like, it's more and more looking like Watson will never see the field again in his life. Not to get into this, but it's more and more looking like that, which I will say this, like, we're not the judge or the jury here. The media PR looks really bad. Of course, he's claiming innocence. He's not been on trial yet. It might be a while. But I think it'll get to such a situation that the NFL will get so much pressure they'll do something, just like Trevor Bauer, ended up losing 2 years of his career, in MLB. I don't know what's going to happen, because that could even be the situation, with Watson, where he hits the commissioner's exempt list, and no worries, the Browns won't have to pay him, even though it's a guaranteed contract. I believe that stipulation, they won't have to pay him. But the bad news is they gave up 3 first-round draft picks. So, but I did hear a very interesting trade that could be going down, which is Baker Mayfield going to the Panthers, Sam Darnold going to the Browns with maybe another pick.
Ugh.
That'd be terrible, by the way, for the Browns.
That's like rearranging the deck chairs on the Titanic.
We're all going down.
I mean, it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, would you rather sit on the left side of the sinking ship or the right side of the sinking ship?
I will say this, but it could be a good situation for Nick Chubb, quarterback that just hands the ball off to Nick Chubb, and Cade York maybe is very good at 2-5, because they'll get down there, and if they can't punch it in, he kicks a field goal. So.
Well, that is why I have Jacoby Brissett in a lot of places.
Yeah.
Because I knew, and not that this person listens, but the person on Twitter who a while ago, who I told when he was bragging about how was taking Deshaun Watson in the 9th round of his startup drafts, and I said, "Are you handcuffing him with Jacoby Brissett in the 10th round?" And his response to me was, "Oh, he's not. He's going to play the whole season." Well, okay.
Tim Scrum says, "Hey, Steve, talking Cowboys, time to troll the pads." Tim, I don't think you have you need a reason to troll the pads.
It's true.
Love doing it.
Please, this is true, that he's not going to rely on that he's not going to rely on a rookie free agent kicker. They're going to go out and get a veteran, and I know they have cap problems and stuff like that.
We'll see.
They're not going to rely on. They're not going to have an undrafted rookie free agent kicker for them. The first time he misses an extra point or something like that, Jerry's going to run down from the owner's box and physically remove him from the team right then and there. I mean, he's gonna have his car towed from his parking spot. I mean, he's gonna have the number on his locker changed. I mean, come on, that's gonna happen. I mean, Jerry's he's gonna pick up some old 35-year-old kicker who hasn't played for a couple of years because it's a name.
Very interesting.
He's gonna pick up Dan Bailey. He'll get Dan Bailey back.
So let's talk about ADP here.
Okay.
And see what you guys think. I'm just gonna come in and
rookie ADP or overall.
Yeah, let's talk some rookie ADP, because we're in the midst of it here right now. So Breece Hall, I think, other than the league that you were in, and maybe there was one with like London or something. Give me 1 second.
I think I saw one. I think I saw somebody with London in one of them. But yeah, it's mostly Breece Hall. I mean, I'll look at it later on, but I would bet 75% of leagues Breece Hall is going with the one.
Yeah, so Breece Hall, his ADP right now is 1, and it is the 1-1. Most leagues, Ken Walker is going 2, but then I just realized that Burks went 2 overall in this particular league. I just happened to notice it. So that's pretty interesting.
I can see a lot of guys. If you don't want, if you don't want a running back for whatever reason, if you don't want Hall or you don't want Walker, then the other 5, those first round wide receivers, nobody seems to be putting Dotson in that list, but Garrett Wilson, Olive, Williams, Drake London. I'm not saying there's not a dime's worth of difference, but they're very, very similar.
Right.
You can list sign a good sides. You can give good reasons and bad and reasons to draft the guy and reasons not to draft each one of them. Like Burks, he might be the alpha number 1 receiver but he's on the Tennessee.
That's right.
So it's kind of Jamison Williams. Everybody loves him, the talent, stuff like that, but he's kind of hurt, so he's not going to be there at the beginning of the season. Garrett Wilson. Everybody loves Garrett Wilson, and he could be the number 1 on that team, but he still has Zach Wilson throwing him the football, and it's the Jets.
Wow.
So
did Rudy just said Pickens is a wide receiver 1 in 2 years, huh?
Okay. Wow. It's possible. It's very possible because Deontay Johnson and Claypool are gone. Could be gone, both gone in 2 years. It's possible that he is the. It's very possible. I wouldn't bet on it, but Can we talk about Nick's thing here? I'll post it up here.
Would you guys rather have Derrick Henry in a second or Lance? Currently have that offer in a league, and I have Burrow and Lamar already.
I think I'd take Henry in the second.
Yeah, I think so.
I think I would do that. And this is a guy I just traded Derrick Henry away, but in my defense, I wanted a younger running back, and I really needed a tight end in that league. And Danny, who I traded with, had Zach Ertz, who at best was going to be his flex because I think he had Kyle Pitts too. So, I saved a little, and I saved a little bit of cap room with that. Henry, and he took London combined is like 18 million, and I got Ertz and Walker for like 12.5 million. So I saved a lot of money, and I wanted Walker. I guess bottom line was I wanted Walker, and I was worried that Danny would take him, and I wanted Walker. So, we'll see.
Makes sense. All right.
I think somebody in our league said if Derrick Henry blows his knee out in 2 years, it'll look like a great deal for Steve. So we'll see.
Yeah.
But if he runs for 4,000 yards this year, then I'm.
So here's the ADPs where they're going. They update every hour, by the way, guys. So as we have actual rookie drafts going on, they update every hour. And Breece Hall is at 1-2. I've seen a little change. Kenneth Walker was like 2.8 or something. Now I'm seeing him at 3.2. London 3.3. Burks 4.7. Pickett, Garrett Wilson at 5.8. Pickett at 7.7. Williams at 8.2. Chris Olave at 9.2. Spiller at 9.8. James Cook at 11.7. Christian Watson at 12.8. And then Pickens is at 12.8. So do you think that Pickens is – I think from what Rudy is saying, he thinks Pickens is going to be a wide receiver 1. Do you guys think you would take, if you were at that choice between Pickens and Watson, that you would take Pickens?
I would take Pickens. I think Jay says it best. He says it. The Steelers are really good at picking wide receivers, and if they trust Pickens and picked him, then he has trust.
Green Bay has had good wide receivers too, and both of them are really big wide receivers. 6'3" is Pickens, 6'5". Watson 6'5". So he's got a pretty big size to him.
Yeah. I guess I worry a little bit about the fact that he did play. I mean, no offense to North Dakota State, but he did play at North Dakota State. So, what's going to happen when he plays in the North Dakota State to the NFL is a gigantic leap.
I hear you.
So we'll see.
Okay. After that, Malik Willis is going at 14.2. Damian Pierce, he just went in our draft in the first round, but his ADP is 14.9. I mean, do we think that he has a chance at starting this year? I mean, he's got Rex Burkhead and Marlon Mack there. What do you think?
Oh, definitely.
I mean, so there is a chance that he beats them out. Sammy from accounting took him. Jahan Dotson is a 17.1. Zamir White 18.6. I actually passed on Zamir White to take Pierce. I might have made it. I was debating back and forth. I know that they didn't pick up Jacob's 5th-year option. But then I'm like, man, his ADP really is like climbing up there. And so, do you think I missed an opportunity on Zamir White?
Yeah, I mean,
his startup
maybe.
ADP is 112 right now. This guy's had 2 ACL tears. I'm looking at Zamir White has. Sky Moore is going at 19.1, and then Desmond Ritter is going at 19.2. Tyler Algier is going at 20. David Bell at 20.2. Kyron Williams. Was it Evan that said Kyron Williams went last in his draft? The last pick? I think it was because of the...
Yeah, but these are all based on. I mean, this just happened. So I mean, a lot of drafts people took Kyron Williams higher.
Yeah, 20.8.
Yeah,
I think we'll start to see it slide now.
It will.
Matt Corral at 20.8. Rashad White at 22.3. John Michie 24.1. Brian Robinson, running back at 24.3. So that's kind of your top 25 right there. Anything surprising to you?
Surprising that people don't know that Jameis Winston steals crab legs from Publix.
He did. I remember
he did.
That. And I just don't understand why. Not to get into a whole thing, right? But why would he steal crab legs? I know that he was he wasn't getting paid in college to the extent that it's open for
Florida State wasn't
now.
Yeah.
But I know that there was some Florida State alum that would buy him crab legs anytime he wanted them. You know that, and I know that.
Of course, but I think he was at the store. He wanted crab legs, and he just kind of took them because he was the starting quarterback at Florida State. And what are the odds that somebody at the Tallahassee Publix is going to report the starting quarterback for FSU stealing crab legs? For stealing anything? I mean, do you? It's like when Pinto stole the all the meat in Animal House, and the cashier let him go and stuff like that. It's the same thing.
Wait, Evan, are you saying flip the 10 and continue trading down and just go get Pickens or something? Is that what you guys are saying? Go get Pickens or... Yeah, interesting. Oh, you guys are awesome in the chat. We just love being in here with you guys.
Yes.
On Wednesdays. Yes. It's a lot of fun. So
everybody's having fun in the chat today, it seems like.
Steve, who do you think's the most cut player during the drafts? Because obviously some people made room during free agency, and then they to get them to the point. And now, at least every league I've been in, some people have made a cut or two. I know we had some people asking about, David Njoku's contract and when that would be updated. It's updated because they wanted to get that, free drop. So I imagine it's probably a free agent player, but is there somebody else that you think is like, hey, this person, when it comes time and you have opportunity to maybe get a pick that you think would be highly dropped?
Hmm. I mean, I'm trying to think of somebody who. Somebody said Rieger. I don't think Rieger. I think you're gonna keep him. Whew, that's a good question. I mean, I've dropped different people, and they're not like super big. Like I dropped Rex Burkhead the other day just because I needed a room, and like 2 million would seem like a lot for him now that he's probably likely at best a third down back. I'm trying to think of other guys. Some people keep saying Rieger. I don't know. I just think they're bound to trade him. I think the Eagles are bound to trade Rieger, and somebody else will see if he can do anything for them. So, that's a good question. I'm trying to think of somebody who's been like a humongous boss, but I can't think of any really outrageous like contracts. I mean, I think most people drop the Christian Kirks and the Tyler Conklins and the CJ Umzawas way back when their contracts kicked in. Nobody needs that kind, and nobody needs like the room to drop like a big name quarterback right now or anything because the rookies are so cheap. So you don't need to drop anybody. I don't know. Do you have data on it, or are you just asking me out of
No, not yet.
curiosity?
I think I'll bring that data next week. So
That's good data to have because it is interesting to see. But I mean, the question is, if those guys are getting dropped, is somebody picking up? Like somebody in our league dropped that. In one of my leagues dropped Darrell Williams.
oh,
And I was like immediately like, oh, I need Darrell Williams.
immediately I would want him too. Are you
Yeah.
kidding me?
And I got him. I bid. I don't know if anybody else bid on him, but I bid on him and I got him. And I'm very happy. I mean, his salary is going to go down once the contract just that the contract just finally was rolled out by Spot Track the other day. So we'll get it in soon. But I mean, he's like 1.187 million. So I mean, to be the backup, possibly the third down back in Arizona, I really like that. So I grabbed him. I had him in another league too. I was happy that I kept him.
Yeah.
But I mean, but for everybody who drops somebody like that, there's somebody else is going to jump in and grab them, I think.
Yeah. True. I think Rieger is a popular one though that would get dropped. Gary said that someone dropped Cortland Sutton and he missed out. I'd be going to go get Cortland Sutton,
Yeah.
because he's not a $30-40 million wide receiver, which is where some of the elite wide receivers are headed. And I think we're starting to look at it, as a deal. Do you wish you would have kept Jarvis Landry in any leagues now that he's going to be $3 million
I
and
dropped it. I had him in one league and I dropped him last year. So, I mean, I
me
wasn't going to
too.
hang on to him that long. Yeah. I mean, if you held on to him, that was if you could hang on to him, that was a good move. Cause was he 3 million in New Orleans? That's really good. That's really good value. So I'd be
Oh,
happy to have him.
Steve, my friend Steve Burns, he just took Malik Willis with the total bowl winner at 113. Wow. Okay.
Huh. That seemed. Didn't you say? I think you said his ADP was like 14 or
Yeah, his
something. So
ADP is
it's
a
right
little
about
lower
there.
than that. I'm seeing his ADP right now at like 14.2. So it's kind of in that range. It's in
It's
that range.
pretty much. It's in that range.
We're seeing Malik go first round, second round, like in between. So you kind of took him right in that spot, Steve. Like you wouldn't have been able to get him any later than that. So like if you wanted a quarterback and you believed in him, and you were kind of between him and Ritter, that's it.
Yeah.
So
Who's got a lower ADP between Ritter and Willis?
it's Willis, 14.2 for Willis, and Ritter's at 19.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Willis is still going ahead. I've thought about it. Just because someone might be starting sooner doesn't mean that they're going to be the guy. I mean, going to be amazing for fantasy.
Oh
Both
yeah.
of the salaries are very cheap. Don't get me wrong. Both of the salaries are efficient, but ultimately, at the end of the day, I think all of the rookie salaries this year are very good value. Every single one of them in the draft. I
Yeah.
mean, yes, there's some wide receivers in the 5 mil, right? But they're all like really affordable compared to where some of the veteran contracts are going. And at the end of the day, I
Well,
think you get the guy that you want.
and compared to last year's rookies, I mean, Trevor Lawrence was 9 million last year. Zach Wilson was close. Zach Wilson and Trey Lance were over 8 million each.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
know, which is why some people preferred Justin
Well,
Fields.
what was Pitts? 8 million last year?
Yeah, like 8.2.
Exactly. There was a lot more offensive, players up in
Well,
the
even like Jamar Chase is like 7.7, I want to say, and Jalen
Jalen
Waddle's like
Waddle with
6.
6. Yeah,
Yeah. So they're all more expensive than any wide receiver, than any player this year.
exactly. Exactly.
So
So that's why I kind of find them all at a value. Now, someone's going to be more of a value at a mil than 5, if they're, really crushing it. So it just depends.
yeah.
It just depends. So,
Is
uh,
any undrafted rookie free agents up there like on AD besides I guess Justin Ross? This is getting inflated because of being the third pick in one league, but
yeah, we'll
who's
see.
like the
So,
who's like the top undrafted rookie free agent ADP?
hmm. So that's an interesting one. Let me come look at the back end. Isaiah Pacheco is 33.8.
No, he was drafted.
Um, and so that puts him just outside the top 32, right? Uh,
He was drafted.
who's the best player that doesn't have an ADP?
No. Who's the undrafted rookie free agent with the
Oh,
lowest ADP?
uh, I don't
So like,
know.
is it Justin Ross or is it somebody else?
I think it's Justin Ross. Uh, I think it's Justin Ross because he's at 28.1, but you
Yeah,
have a big selection of people right
yeah.
there. And then
But see, like
obviously,
in one draft, I'm looking at somebody took Carson Strong with the 3.5. So I mean, I'm not thinking that Carson Strong is there, but
yeah.
he might be.
Let's see.
I mean, because last year, remember JV and Hawkins,
Carson
people were
Strong's
taking
25.5.
his ADP.
Yeah.
Wow. That means people are taking him on average at the end of the second round for beginning of the third round.
Yeah.
Because 25 is the end
Yeah.
of
So
the
it
second
is
round.
lower. It is a lower ADP than Justin Ross.
Wow. Surprised about that. I'm
Yeah.
surprised about that. But I mean, remember last year, everybody wanted JV and Hawkins because they thought that he was going to be the running back in Atlanta because all they had was Mike Williams and nobody knew about
Davis. Yeah.
Cordell Patterson. And,
Yeah.
he was undrafted rookie free agent and he didn't even make the team. And then he went to like 2 other teams and didn't play. And now he's a free agent. And people were taking him with like mid-second round picks last year.
Yep. That's true.
So it doesn't seem like anybody's in that category,
Yeah.
so to speak. So, okay. I was just curious.
Yeah. It is curious. I was curious as well. One thing, and then I got to wrap, Steve. And I know
Okay.
you got to wrap too. So,
Yes.
guys, we'll be back next week. We're going to continue that rookie draft talk as well as getting people ready to go for startup drafts too. Yeah, so good stuff. Just so you all know the delay for rookies, and let me explain this. I'll share my screen here and just show you guys.
Oh, the what pops up at the
Yeah, this
beginning.
was something. I like to say friend of the show, but he's a friend of Dynasty owner, very much so through and through. Our good friend David Brady. I remember he had said, "Hey, I'm starting to see guys come and just stall on the final pick."
Yeah.
And finish the draft at 2 a.m. and then come and snipe up all the rookies. So what we did is we delayed.
He's
And
right. People did do that last year. I remember.
I remember they did last year. So
Yeah.
to prevent that, say your rookie draft finishes right now, 5 o'clock. You would not let them process. They would not process tomorrow at 5 p.m. They would process on Friday. I'm sorry, they would not process Thursday at 5 a.m. They'd process Friday at 5 a.m.
Okay.
But veterans would. Veterans are processing as normal. Rookies are just processing and skipping a day, essentially. That's it. That's an explanation of it on the startup page.
To give everybody a fair shot at having those.
Yeah, we just want to give everyone a fair shot at being able to bid on rookies. That's it.
No, it's a good thing because people were, like you said, last year at 3 a.m. taking the last pick.
The thing
and
is,
then putting in bids for like 3 rookie free agents, being the only one to bid on them and winning them all.
I didn't see anybody abuse it this year, but if not this year, it'll be in future years, right? So,
I mean, yeah, that's why most rules are created, because one person figures it out and bends them, and then everybody has to have that.
Yep.
Everybody else has to get punished for it. But that's not a bad. It's actually a common sense thing. It just gives everybody a fair chance.
That's it. So. Exactly.
Oh.
Okay, y'all. Thank you so much, Steve, and I enjoyed being here with you guys. We will catch you next week at 4:00. You can catch the podcast each and every week that Jay and Steve sit down and do together, as well as read all the articles. There's also, after these rookie drafts are done, if there is any, if you got the itch, there'll be some startup drafts that'll be going on all summer long. So just so you guys know. And we'll be back next week. We'll kind of recap rookie drafts all together. I think we'll probably have them all done next week, and we'll see, because some are still going on. I'm seeing a lot in third round right now, Steve, but there are some in late first right now. So,
well, some of them started on Saturday, so you can't.
Yeah, exactly. Some people are taking time, which is totally fine. So,
yeah.
All right, y'all. Steve and I will
smash the like button. Don't forget.
Smash the like button on the way out.